Can exercise really enhance your mental health? The answer is a resounding yes, and by the end of this video, you're gonna have enough science backing this claim and quick win exercise tips to motivate you to get started on your exercise routine for your physical and your mental health. If you haven't yet, subscribe to this YouTube channel and let us know in the comments what you do for exercise and mental health at your house. I remember when I looked like this, and health was the last thing on my mind. Now that we're in recovery and we're working a program, our physical and mental health is extremely important for living a life in recovery we love. Let's talk about just a bit of the science of exercise on the brain. Much like a car requires fuel to operate, our minds and our mental health require different forms of nourishment as fuel. Some of this will come from different foods like blueberries and nuts, but much of our mental nourishment comes from various chemicals naturally released in our bodies. Yes, some of these used to be artificially released from the dope we used, but as we learned, this was not sustainable. But exercise is, and multiple different studies show physical activity and aerobic exercise naturally releases substances like brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, endorphins, serotonin, dopamine, glutamate, and even GABA. I used to be a roly-poly raver kid at one point, and if you ever woke up after a night of raving and the party drugs, you would have a significant period of downtime or even depression. That's because those drugs artificially release so much of our serotonin, our body had a difficult time getting it back, and we feel depressed. Exercise naturally releases a sustainable amount which gives us the feelings we commonly associate with ecstasy, at a lower volume for an extended period of time. Who doesn't want to naturally roll in their recovery with some exercise? Another thing exercise does to the body and the mind is release pockets of cortisol and adrenaline our bodies hold on to. These chemicals are often referred to as the stress hormones. A great mental trigger to utilize is whenever you notice yourself feeling stressed or overwhelmed, habitually recognize this is your body telling you it needs to release these pockets of hormones. And then go do some kind of exercise that gets your heart rate up to 70% of its max for 25 to 35 minutes. This will release the happy endorphins and break these stress hormone pockets and will oftentimes help you solve whatever situation is going on by clearing your mind of these stressful thoughts. Now, I want to ask you a couple questions that you need to be honest with yourself about the answers. How do you feel about your personal body image right now? How is your self-esteem with the way you are treating your body and how you look at yourself in the mirror? Rate your body image from 1 to 10, 1 being the worst possible and 10 being perfection. If you're anywhere below the 7 or 8 range, habitual exercise will boost your self-esteem and body image better than anything else there is. One of my students in Recovered on Purpose recently did a body transformation. She had come to a call noticeably down and ended up telling me she was unhappy with her body image. All we did was build a habit of exercising 5 days per week for 30 minutes at 70 to 80% of her max heart rate, and she would send texts like these 5 days per week to a group of us in Recovered on Purpose. There was a point about 2 months in where she wasn't seeing all the results she wanted and expected. But we talked through it, and I reinforced with her that the body has to catch up with the habit, and it will learn what to burn and what to store. Then, it was like overnight, weight began to fall off, her smile came back in our calls and pictures and videos she was putting out, and her personal body image and reward for the work she put in has been obvious. Check out these before and afters in just 3 months. So, how exactly can you implement exercise routines that will last? The first thing is making a decision to do this. Say to yourself, "Self, I am beginning to focus on my physical and mental health by incorporating exercise into my life." Easy enough, right? Now, what kind of exercise do you love to do? Did you used to love to swim or run? How about hiking or sports like pickleball or basketball? The way Kimberly started was genius. There was a show she wanted to watch but never really had the time to watch it. She would get on an elliptical machine and watch an episode of this show 5 days per week. The show was 30 minutes, so it would work perfectly and the exercise would fly by. Personally, I love taking my boy Enzo on trail runs for real cardio type exercise on the weekends, and in the mornings during the week, after I take him to the dog PARK, I do weight training for 30 minutes straight with 15 to 30 second breaks in between sets. What this does is quickly get my heart rate up, I am able to burn out the muscle group, and get the weight training I need to do to keep myself at a personal body image of 8 to 10. The key is to get yourself to 70% of your max heart rate for 25 to 35 minutes straight. And that is where all the fuel and chemicals are released into your body and your brain to improve your mental health. Last quick tip. Your max heart rate is 220 minus your age. So if you're 35, your max heart rate is 185. And to get 70%, you multiply your max by 0.7. So 185 times 0.7 equals 129.5. 70% of my max heart rate is 130 beats per minute because I round up as an overachiever. So my friends, get up and get out there to the gym or the court or the trail and enjoy your new natural dopamine. If you're looking for a faster way to work your fourth step, you can check this video out here. Or if you'd like a copy of my book for free or any of the free worksheets for addicts in recovery, you can see all the links in the description below. I love you all so much and keep living Recovered on Purpose.